Today we're going in on the NBA's Orlando Magic rebrand because it's not just a new look, it's a conversation starter, it's a cultural checkpoint, and depending on who you ask, right? It's either a long overdue glow up or a complete snoozefest. But here's the real headline, right? This rebrand is a textbook case of why design isn't black or white. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not win or fail. Design is subjective. And that's not a weakness. That's a superpower. But before we get into it, be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, leaving a comment, and of course, by subscribing. This is Ziggy the Designer, the show where we talk about the world of graphic design and the people who make it move. Design is all around us, so we might as well talk about it. And as you can see, my kitchen is also all around us. Working on getting a move finished up here. We're working on the office, getting that finished up too. So we're doing this episode from the kitchen. Next week, everything should be back to normal. Let's get into it. Why does this rebrand matter? Well, let's break it down. Right, the Orlando Magic entered the NBA in 1989, and by the mid-90s, they were absolutely electric. I mean, we're talking Shaq, we're talking Penny Hardaway, highlight reels, iconic pinstripe uniforms, right? The logo looked like it was pulled straight out of a Nickelodeon Cartoon Network show. And then, of course, time happened, right? Stars came and went, jerseys changed, but that original Orlando Magic DNA, that distinct, playful but cool Magic identity, it never quite left the minds of Magic fans. So in 2024, the franchise finally decided that it was time for a rebrand. And this week, they finally launched it. So here's what the rebrand looks like, right? It's more of an evolution than a revolution in this case, right? We got the classic shooting star, that's still there, but now with cleaner geometry, sharper lines, more balance. We have a new Roundel logo, which is splitting hairs, right? It's splitting hairs, but we're gonna get to that later. Orlando Magic basketball, right? That word mark is wrapped around the icon beautifully, and we have that basketball shooting star icon right at the center of it. Yes. Right, those iconic pinstripe uniforms are back. It's clean, it's smart, it respects the past, but sharpens for the present. And now here's where things get interesting, because this is a debate between people who really want different things from the brands that they follow. You got the regular fans, the casual viewers, the nostalgia lovers who are absolutely loving this, right? They're saying that it feels like the Magic of the 1990s. They're saying that the rebrand feels clean, feels modern. They're saying that it'll look great on merchandise. On the other hand, you have a crowd who feels incredibly underwhelmed by this, right? They're saying that it looks flat. They're saying that it lacks personality. And on the Roundel, they're saying that it looks like half the league, and they're not wrong on that, right? There's kind of a visual fatigue happening in the NBA right now. Roundels are everywhere. I mean, you see it in the LA Clippers, you see it in the Toronto Raptors, you see it in the, my Minnesota Timberwolves, right? When you stack this against teams like the Miami Heat or the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Brands that have a little bit of edge to them, the Magic's new look can feel safe. So who's right? Well, nobody and everybody at the same time, because this is where the bigger truth of design lives. People don't judge design like they judge math, right? There isn't a formula for design that you can just plug it in and you're going to get an objectively correct answer. Design doesn't work that way. People judge design the way they judge music, the way they judge art, the way they judge fashion and food, right? It's all taste. It's all personal. You're not reacting to a logo, you're reacting to what that logo reminds you of. You're reacting to how that logo makes you feel. Whether it be a moment, a memory, a mood, right? So when someone says this logo isn't bold enough, what they're really saying is, this doesn't make me feel the way I want this rebrand to make me feel. Whereas on the other side, when someone says this rebrand is absolutely perfect, right? It's stunning. They're really saying, this feels familiar. It feels right. It brings me back to a time that I loved. No design degrees required, just straight emotion. And let me say it louder for the people in the back, for the people who aren't really getting what I'm trying to say here. And it's that design is subjective, right? It's not binary. It's not ones and zeros. It's not A+. It's not F. It lives in that messy middle where opinions, memory, and culture all clash into one another. And I'm going to be real with you, right? Personally, I like this Orlando Magic rebrand. I love the nostalgia play here. I think the roundel works. If we're talking, how the brand's going to live in a larger system, right? This thing's going to look great in the middle of the court. It's going to look great on a banner. It's going to look great on a hoodie, right? I think the typography gives its own voice without trying too hard. But I don't love this rebrand because it's perfect, right? I love it because it's right for the Orlando Magic right now. And, if you're someone who thinks it's mid, or, if you absolutely hate this rebrand, you're not wrong either. Because your expectations, your taste, your connection to the brand, right? All of that shapes how you experience this thing. And that's what makes design powerful. It's not there to be right or wrong. It's there to connect. It's there to communicate. It's there to mean something. So let's zoom out a bit, right? Pepsi. Their latest rebrand went nostalgic, and people loved it. Tropicana tried to modernize with the rebrand, and they got dragged so hard. They reversed it in less than a year. And who could forget the Gap rebrand in 2010? One of the shortest-lived design disasters in history, because people didn't see it as an evolution. They saw it as a betrayal to the brand. That's why the Orlando Magic logo isn't about whether it passes some sort of design rubric. It's about whether it connects. And for a lot of people, it does. For others, it misses. And that's okay. Design isn't about, getting 100% approval here. It's about being intentional and then owning the conversation that follows. And this rebrand is doing exactly that. So what can we take away from this? You don't need to be a designer to have an opinion on design, and you don't need to win an argument to have a valid point. Design isn't here to settle debates, it's here to create them, and that's a big reason why I started this channel. If we're talking about accounting, then there's no debate, there's no conversation at all. The numbers are right there, you can read them, you can plug them into a formula, you're going to have your objectively correct answer. But design is different. But how do you feel about this Orlando Magic rebrand? Are you a fan? Do you feel it falls short of expectations? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That's all I have for you. Be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, subscribing, and of course, sharing this episode out. I've been Ziggy the Designer. If there are 2 things you need to know about me, it's that 1, I love design. And 2, I'm very opinionated. I'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.